Gentlemen, if you're over 50 and you take vitamin B12 for energy or prostate health, stop for a moment and listen closely. There's one very common mistake that makes B12 look perfectly normal on a blood test, while your nerves, bladder, and prostate control quietly get worse. I see this every week in my clinic. Men walk in frustrated and confused. They tell me, "Doc, I've been taking B12 for years. My lab results are fine. So why am I still tired, foggy, and running to the bathroom all night?" Take my patient, I'll call Frank. He's 61. Frank took his B12 every morning for nearly 10 years. His blood tests always came back normal. But his energy kept dropping, his mind felt foggy, and his prostate symptoms got worse. He was constantly running to the toilet. Frank was shocked when I told him he wasn't low in B12 at all. The problem was his body couldn't use the B12 he was taking. He was taking it the wrong way. I'm Dr. Rotker, a urologist who's been caring for men in their 50s and beyond for over 20 years. Today, I'll show you that critical B12 mistake, why even well-meaning doctors often overlook it, and give you my simple step-by-step plan to finally take B12 the right way so it actually supports your prostate health, your energy, and clears that brain fog. Before we go further, leave a comment with your age and where you're watching from. I want to see how many are dealing with this silently. And if you want clear answers like this every week, please hit the subscribe button. I'm here to help you take real control of your health. Let's dismantle a dangerous myth first. If my B12 blood test is normal, then B12 isn't part of my problem. I hear this all the time. You look at your lab report, see a number in the normal range, and assume your prostate symptoms and energy issues must be from something else. But for men over 50, that assumption is often dead wrong. You can have a perfectly normal B12 blood level and still have a serious shortage of usable B12 that's affecting your nerves and your prostate. The test measures what's floating in your bloodstream, not what's actually getting inside your cells to do the repair work. This is why understanding what B12 does is so important. Vitamin B12 is a powerhouse nutrient. It's absolutely essential for protecting your nerves, for creating healthy red blood cells that carry oxygen, and for turning the food you eat into usable energy. Every single nerve in your body, including the delicate ones that control your bladder and your pelvic floor, depends on B12 to function properly. When B12 is lacking, nerves malfunction. This can show up as tingling in your feet, slower thinking, or constant fatigue. At the same time, you may start dealing with urgency, dribbling, a weaker stream, or that feeling that your bladder never fully empties. So that frequent nighttime urination and that weak flow aren't always just about your prostate size. Sometimes it's about nerve function. Here's the root of the problem. After 50, your ability to absorb B12 from food and standard pills plummets. This is often due to declining stomach acid and intrinsic factor production. Your body needs both of these things to pull B12 out of your food and your standard supplements. It's like having full gas tank, but a fuel line that's broken. The car won't run because the fuel can't reach the engine. In the same way, your cells can't function if the B12 can't reach them. This absorption issue is the silent reason why so many men take B12 for years and see no improvement in their prostate or their energy. Your body simply isn't getting the delivery. My patient Jim, 71, had a B12 level of 430, well within the normal range. Yet he got up several times every night to urinate, and foot numbness got worse. I explained, the standard test measures B12 floating in your blood, not the amount actually getting into your nerve and prostate cells. His cells were starving. Now, armed with this understanding, let's look at the big mistakes this disconnect. Mistake number 1 is probably the most common one I see. taking vitamin B12 as a standard pill that you just swallow with water. If you're over 50, this method often fails because it depends on the very stomach acid and intrinsic factor that many of us produce less of. A huge portion of that pill passes right through you, unused. Remember my patient Frank from the beginning? This was his exact problem. We didn't increase his B12 dose. We simply changed the form and how he took it. Within weeks, his energy improved. He told me, "I only got up once last night to pee. That hasn't happened in years." The form is as important as the dose. If this is clicking for you, if you're realizing why your B12 might not have worked, hit the like button. It helps get this information to more men who need to hear it. Now, mistake number 2 is another extremely common pitfall, taking the wrong form of B12. If you check the label on many over-the-counter B12 supplements or even multivitamins, you'll often see the name cyanocobalamin. That's the cheap synthetic form. It's popular because it stays stable on store shelves and costs less to produce, but for men over 50, it's often the least efficient option. Your body cannot use cyanocobalamin directly. It first has to convert it into an active form your cells can actually use it. This conversion process requires specific nutrients and energy, and for many men past 50, this system just doesn't work as well as it used to. Your liver might be busy or you might not have all the cofactors needed. So you can end up with B12 floating in your bloodstream, yet not enough active B12 reaching the nerves that help control your energy, your brain, and your bladder and prostate. You're giving your body a puzzle it can't solve. My patient Rick, 72, took standard multivitamin for years. The label said B12, so he assumed he was covered, but had numbness in 2 fingers, felt less steady when he walked, and real difficulty starting his urine stream. His lab numbers looked fine, his daily life did not. We switched him to methylcobalamin, an active form. We also adjusted how he took it. Within a month, his balance improved. Within 3, the numbness faded and his urine flow was stronger. This isn't just Rick's story. Research supports this. Studies show active forms of B12, like methylcobalamin and adenylcobalamin, are absorbed and used more efficiently in older adults. They skip that difficult conversion step in the liver, delivering ready-to-use B12 directly to your nerves and prostate cells. So if you're over 50, and especially if you're dealing with prostate or nerve issues, ditch the cyanocobalamin if you can and opt for a form of B12 that's ready to go. Your body will thank you. While we're on the topic of how we take B12, let's address another common mistake related to timing and dosing. We'll call it mistake number 2B, and it often shows up even in men who've already switched to a better form of B12. Many men take one B12 pill in the morning and assume they're covered for the whole day. Now, B12 is a water-soluble vitamin. That means your body uses what it needs and clears the rest fairly quickly. If your absorption isn't perfect, that one morning dose may only give you a short lift, and by evening, your tissues may already be running low again, especially the nerves that help control your bladder. This is also where I hear another common belief. I've heard some men say, if B12 is so hard to absorb, maybe I should just get injections. Look, B12 can be useful in serious cases, but they're not the first step for most men, and they come with their own inconveniences and costs. If you use the right form and the right delivery method, you can often get B12 levels up effectively without needles. Now we arrive at mistake number 3, which catches a lot of well-intentioned men off guard. This mistake is about timing and consistency, or rather the lack of consistency. It's easy to think of B12 like a cup of coffee, a quick pick-me-up for when you feel especially tired, but that's not how it works. Vitamin B12 is a repair nutrient. It helps rebuild the protective coating around your nerves and supports the daily maintenance your prostate and bladder need. If you only take it when you remember or when you feel run down, you're constantly stopping and starting that repair process. Your nerves can't heal that way. I had a patient, Kevin, 65 years old, who used B12 like an emergency button. If his tingling worsened, he'd take it. If he had a terrible night with 5 bathroom trips, he'd take it the next day. Then he'd skip several days once he felt a little better. We tried a simple experiment. He took sublingual methylcobalamin every morning, no skipping, for 2 months. The first couple of weeks, he didn't notice much. That's normal. Nerves heal slowly. Around 6 weeks, he told me he was only getting up twice a night instead of 4 or 5 times, and the tingling in his feet had stopped spreading. By 4 months, the tingling had pulled back mostly into his toes. His balance felt better, and many nights he only got up once. Sometimes he slept straight through. That change didn't come from a higher dose. It came from taking the right form in the right way every single day. Timing matters too. Some men take their B12 at dinner time or right before bed. For many, B12 can provide a slight energy boost, which is great in the morning, but not so helpful at night. If it interferes with your sleep, you create a new problem. Poor sleep raises stress hormones and inflammation in the body, which can actually make prostate symptoms worse and slow down the very healing you're trying to support. Taking your B12 in the morning or early afternoon aligns better with your body's natural rhythm. 2 final blockers. First is dehydration. If you don't drink enough water, you slow down the entire transport system that carries nutrients like B12 to your cells. Second are common medications. Drugs for diabetes like metformin and acid reducers for heartburn are known to interfere with B12 absorption over time. This doesn't mean you should stop your prescribed medications. It simply means you must adjust your B12 strategy. Here's the most important takeaway from all this. Most men aren't making just one of these mistakes, they're making 3 or 4. Each one reduces the benefit of your B12 by 20, 30, 40%. But when you combine them, they reduce it to 0. That's why you feel nothing. All right, let's pull everything together into a clear, actionable plan. This is the exact plan I use with my patients in the clinic. Let's build your protocol for taking B12 the right way so it finally starts supporting your prostate healing and your energy. First, choose the correct form of B12. Look for a supplement that says methylcobalamin or a combination of methylcobalamin and adenosylcobalamin right on the label. These are the active, ready-to-use forms. Avoid supplements where the only ingredient listed is cyanocobalamin. Making this switch ensures your body gets B12 it can use immediately without a difficult conversion process. Next, fix the delivery method. For men over 50, do not rely on a standard pill you swallow. Instead, choose a sublingual form. This means a small lozenge or drops you place under your tongue and let dissolve. This method allows the B12 to absorb directly into your bloodstream through the tissues in your mouth. Completely bypasses the stomach absorption problems we talked about. This one change can massively transform your results. Reserve injections as an option only if sublingual forms truly don't get your levels up, or if your doctor advises them for a severe case. Third, take an effective dose. For men dealing with absorption issues, a typical low dose in a multivitamin is not enough. I recommend a daily dose between 1,000 and 2,000 micrograms. Some men might even start with 5,000 micrograms daily for a short period if their doctor recommends a boost. This higher amount helps ensure enough gets into your system to make a difference. Don't worry about taking too much. Your body will safely get rid of any B12 it doesn't need. Fourth, be consistent. You must take your B12 every single day. Treat it like a daily health ritual, just like brushing your teeth. Nerve repair and cellular maintenance require a steady supply of nutrients. If you struggle to remember, pair it with something you do at the same time each day, like your morning coffee or breakfast. Remember, your prostate didn't enlarge overnight, and your nerves didn't get damaged overnight, so they need continuous support to heal and stabilize. Fifth, take your B12 in the morning or early afternoon. This supports your natural energy levels throughout the day. More importantly, taking it early prevents any potential alertness from affecting your deep sleep. Protecting your sleep is a critical part of managing prostate health and overall inflammation. Avoid late evening or nighttime dosing unless you've been specifically told otherwise. Remember that B12 does not work alone. It partners with folate, which is vitamin B9, and vitamin B6 to support nerve health and blood flow. Practically, if you take folate, many men do better with methylfolate or folinic acid instead of the cheaper folic acid. It's also wise to keep an eye on vitamin D and magnesium, since nerves and muscles depend on them. For prostate support, nutrients like zinc and omega-3s can help keep inflammation under control. The goal isn't to take dozens of pills, it's to make sure the key players are in place so B12 can be most effective. Judge your success by how you feel, not just a lab number. Pay close attention to your body. Are you waking up fewer times at night? Is your urine stream easier to start? Does it feel stronger? Do your feet feel less numb? Is your balance improving? Is your mind clearer? These improvements in your actual symptoms are your real measure of success. They matter more than a slight change on a blood test report. I need to be very clear with you. Correcting your B12 protocol is a powerful step, but it is not a magic cure for every health issue. If you have a significantly enlarged prostate causing a major blockage, B12 will not shrink that tissue. If your numbness is from a pinched nerve in your spine, B12 cannot reverse that compression. This protocol is designed to fix a very common nutritional gap that worsens your symptoms. If you follow this plan diligently for 3 months and fail to see any improvement in your frequent urination or nerve symptoms, please consult your doctor. There may be another underlying condition that needs specific attention. This B12 strategy is excellent foundational support, working alongside proper medical care to help you feel your best. The real victory in all of this comes down to one thing. It's the moment a man realizes he's back in control of his own health. One of my patients, a gentleman in his early 70s, said something to me I'll always remember. After following this exact plan for a few months, he looked at me and said, "Doc, I feel like I got a piece of my life back. I'm sleeping through the night now. I don't have that constant anxiety about where the nearest bathroom is. My mind feels clear, and I can trust my body again." That feeling, that sense of confidence and control is what happens when you stop just taking a supplement and start using it correctly. Tonight, I want you to do one simple thing. Go look at your B12 bottle. Read the label. Pay attention to the ingredients and ask yourself 3 simple questions. Is it the main ingredient, cyanocobalamin? Am I just swallowing it? Am I inconsistent? You now have the knowledge to change each of one of those answers. You have the power to fix this. Now I want to hear from you. Comment below and tell me just 3 things: your age, what form of B12 you're taking right now, and the one change you're going to make first. If this helped you, please share it with a friend or a family member. Chances are he's making these same mistakes with his B12. And if you want more straightforward strategies like this, hit the subscribe button. I'm here to help you navigate your health with clarity. I'm Dr. Katherine Rotker. Remember, feeling your best isn't about luck. It's about having the right plan. Take good care, and I'll see you in the next video.